Jeff Little with Torqeedo Electric Motors. About a week ago I was on Kentucky Lake competing in the Kayak Bass Fishing Open on Kentucky Lake, and I was using my Torqeedo motor for two different ways that really helped me in competition and helped earn me that 7th place finish. The first was trolling. I used this Copper's Live Target crayfish crankbait, and I just trolled it behind the kayak. And trolling is something that its success is highly dependent on being specific and using your electronics and also the motor to get a very specific speed. On certain days they're going to prefer it a little bit faster. We had experienced a cold front down there, so it was a little bit slower. It was around 2.3 miles per hour that I wanted to, well, that was working, that I got my bites. And within the first 15 minutes of that tournament I had 2 nice fish, 18, 18 and a half. The nice thing about trolling is, compared to casting or even putting a jig somewhere, is the entire time you've lowered it and it's out there, it's in the strike zone the whole time. Whereas if you make a cast and it takes a while for your crankbait or whatever it is to hit bottom, and then it's in the strike zone for a little while, and then you bring it back up to the surface and it's out of the strike zone. You get that much time casting in the strike zone, whereas trolling, the whole time it's going, it's in the strike zone. So it really gives you a mathematical advantage to catching fish, and certainly that helped me in competition. Now, just because I've got the motor and it's really enhanced my power fishing tactics like trolling and just constantly casting, hands-free casting all the time, that doesn't mean that I've forgotten my finesse fishing roots. In fact, it's enhanced my finesse fishing because I can get to the spots, shut down the motor, and spend longer on there before I know I have to paddle out. So the motor actually gives you more time with your line in the water finesse fishing if that's what the day calls for. It turned out that power fishing presentation isn't something that lasted much beyond the first few hours in the morning. So eventually I had switched to using, this is a Confidence Baits little tube, very much a finesse presentation. And really, when I was using this, I didn't use the motor at all. But what the motor allowed me to do was, on day 2, I had a specific spot I wanted to get to, and there was actually another angler out there, and he was pedaling along, and both of us were heading towards the same point. And I used the Torqeedo and I paddled with it, and I blew him away. I went right past him and got to the spot first. And then, you know, I employed the finesse presentation I needed to, locked onto my spot, and really fished it hard all day. And then at the end of the day, I knew I could stay out there a little bit longer because I had the motor to help me get back to the ramp quicker, just so I could get to the check-in. So I did want to take a moment to thank Torqeedo for sponsoring both the Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship and the KBF Open that I participated in. And in doing well in that, I qualified for the Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship next year, which Torqeedo is sponsoring again, and that has a payout of $100,000. So try to qualify, fish your local circuits, and hopefully you can earn a place competing with me and other great anglers in the KBF National Championship next year.